I talk too fast. I talk too fast. I talk too fast. Hello there, trick-or-treaters! We have another episode of Myths, Monsters, and Mysteries. I hope you enjoyed our previous episode on the Jersey Devil, and I really hope you enjoyed my very groovy, old-school, cheesy intro because it just makes me happy. It's just so lame, and I love lame stuff, and I love lame monster stuff even more. So, today's monster is one that I was not previously familiar with at all, but it comes as a viewer request from Kayla! Creepy K. She's on Instagram, she's on YouTube, check her out. She's 50% of my viewer base, because there are 2 of you. So, I love Kayla, and she's super nice. She sent me a nice Halloween card, and she loves cryptids too. Awesome. So she sent me the recommendation about Goatman. So Goatman is from around her area, the Fort Worth, Texas area. There's this place called Greer Island. It's kind of off of a river, and it's kind of just a little piece of land, not like a big island, but just kind of, there's a little spot here. And they are known for goat. So it's either known as the Greer Island Goatman or Lake Worth Monster, depending on what you want to call it. I think Goatman sounds really cool. But also, researching this and doing a lot of reading on people's reports and stuff, not really particularly goat-like. So that's kind of odd. So the first official report comes July 1969, and it's described as half man, half goat. That's where the goat man comes in, with fur and scales, and it's just a big, scary thing, 7 feet tall. They're always so tall, you know? I don't know what's in the cryptid water, but they're always so gosh darn tall. Anyway, so that was reported, but the interesting thing about that's our first official sighting. Our first official sighting. This is the one that everything you look up to points to this July 1969 encounter. However, police reports, they were having sightings for up to 2 months before July. But they were like, it's pranksters, these gosh darn kids and their hoaxes and whatnot. What makes the July 1969 encounter so different is that it left physical damage. There were 3 couples parking, kids, what are you gonna do? And the Goatman leapt from a tree onto the hood of their car, and there was an 18-inch just giant gash in their car. So with the violence and just absolutely how terrified these people were, the police had to open an official investigation. What's interesting is that the very next night, it was sighted again by dozens of witnesses. They saw it on top of a cliff. I don't know how cliffy it was, but it was in plain view of people, and it's described as having uttered a pitiful cry, like it sounded like it was in enormous pain, and then it threw a tire at onlookers, which left people running, screaming. Police were there. It was a very spooky time. Now, with cryptids, this happens a lot. It's a hoax, it's a prank. You hear it all the time. Okay. What was really interesting about Goatman that I found was that lots of people took credit for the prank. You were getting, I think it was 2005, there was an unsigned, unaddressed letter sent to the police department detailing what these kids did. They said, the letter said that they were a part of a group of high schoolers who thought it would be fun to go prank some people. They described the costume and what they did afterwards. They headed on down to Dairy Queen, because what else is there to do in Texas other than dress up as a monster and go to Dairy Queen? The problem with the letter that was sent in is that many people have made this claim, saying, oh, well, I was in a group and maybe these were just all separate people in the group telling their story. But because so many things have come in, it makes it a little hard to suss out the truth, and it seems a little like, we're trying to take credit. I'm the Goatman. In fact, it was I. July 1969. I was in Fort Worth, Texas, in a goat costume. But that's just how I like to spend my weekends. As you can imagine, after the first incident, our first official sighting and report, drunk guys with guns loaded up by the truckload and went out into the woods, determined to catch and kill Goatman. It became like a big party. It was their own Sasquatch, so to speak. They were so excited to go out there. They were making it into a party. Booze, guns. It's a Texas shindig. No one was hurt. It's all good. But that was what concerned police the most, was that not that there was some weird monster out in the woods, but that a lot of drunk people were out in the woods with guns, which is a very good thing to be concerned about. What contributed to the whole, police still thought this was a prank. They saw some things they couldn't explain, but because you couldn't explain it, okay, it's a prank. And what contributed a lot to that is that sightings diminished significantly after school resumed session. So they thought, some high school kids going crazy. But the problem with that is that sightings still continued much later. There are still sightings to this day. There was a lady at the time who wrote a book about it, but kind of a tongue-in-cheek, oh yeah, there's a goat man, whatever, who later actually saw the goat man several times. And she expressed regret that she had taken that approach to writing her book because she was converted, she saw it, and now she felt bad for making silly commentary on it. So people were still seeing Goatman. There is only actually one substantiated picture, or one well-accepted picture of Goatman out there, which I will put here. If you're anything like me, you think that looks nothing like a goat. It looks a lot like what people would say a Sasquatch looked like if Sasquatch were white. So that leads to another theory. The theories just keep rolling with the Lake Worth monster. The theory is that while it was initially described as half man, half goat, the sightings since then have coincided more with a Sasquatch-like creature. So the theory is that because of how the island is located, it's a very nice plot of land, they do have all kinds of wildlife, that it's just a really good spot to hang out for a Sasquatch creature. And one of the experts in Sasquatchery, that's a word you don't hear every day, because I made it up just now. But somebody who does do a lot of research in the field, and who actually grew up in the area, posits that perhaps it is a traveling Sasquatch, and that's why the sightings are so spotty, but that it's a good place to kind of go hang out, so it's as good of a theory as any. Tracks have been seen, but tracks way too big for a man, so again, it's very tall with very big feet. That does sound most familiar. I wish I could think why. And one lowly theory that a kennel owner provided was that during the time, July 1969, July 10th, if we're going to get specific here, they did actually have a monkey escape. So mayhaps a monkey escaped and caused all of these shenanigans. You just never can tell. If you are interested in Goatman, or happen to just live in the area, share your next door neighbors to Goatman, there is actually a festival every year. The local, what is the word I'm looking for? Nature Society, conservation area, there's a word for it that I'm sure you know because you're very smart and not on the spot. They have kind of cashed in on the reputation of Goatman, very cleverly. And they actually host an annual Goatman festival every October, so you can go celebrate the wonders of Goatman and learn some stuff about nature and probably eat a corn dog, because let's face it, what festival does not have a corn dog? So thank you for watching yet another episode of Myths, Monsters, and Mysteries. Anything weird, spooky, strange that you want to learn more about, leave me a comment down below. This was a viewer-requested video. You can request videos too. I know, it's insanity. It's absolutely mad, I tell you. But it's what I do because sometimes I have great ideas and sometimes I don't. So, if you have any weird, mysterious happenings or monsters or anything you want to know more about, seriously, just leave me a comment. I will look it up and come back and tell you all about it, or at least what I could find. And I do hope you find them interesting. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy Monsters and Mayhem just as much as I do. And until our next adventure together, happy trick-or-treating.